Happy Tuesday, everybody. Good afternoon. Thanks again for joining me for another installment of Talk It Out Tuesday, where I am sharing my thoughts with you and talking it out. And I would love to know what you think about what I am talking it out about. So, I've been thinking for the past few days about my journey in this life. And one tool that I have put in my tool belt that I think has really served me well is learning how to forgive. The power of forgiveness. I learned this at a very, very early age. My mom always taught me that you don't have to go being vengeful or seeking vengeance against anyone. You know why? Because God loves us all. And he's going to teach them the error of their ways, just like he taught you. So he'll fix them way better than you ever could. So you don't have to go out seeking revenge. And I really am grateful for that lesson because I'm not a vengeful person. I don't hold grudges. I just forgive. I move on. So let's talk about forgiveness. First, we're going to talk about forgiving others, and then we could talk about forgiving yourself. So, a lot of times I think that we are reluctant to forgive others because it kind of gives you that feeling that we're exonerating them for the wrong that they have done to us. And that's really not the case. What's really going on is you're trying to exonerate yourself, all right? Another thing I learned at a really early age is how destructive unforgiveness can be. I saw it firsthand. I've seen someone's life literally destroyed because of their inability to forgive and move on. And I took that lesson to heart and I was like, no matter what type of heartbreak I experience, my main goal is going to be to forgive and move on. And I have actually done that. I've had to do a lot of forgiving in my life. I've been through some things, a terrible heartbreak early on, a failed marriage. So you can just about imagine. So another thing that you have to remember is that when you don't forgive, what you're doing is you're going to be stagnant. You're going to be stuck in that space. So every time you think about it, every time you hear about it, you're reliving that same hurt and pain over and over again. But if you just get to the point, which forgiveness is a personal journey. When you're forgiving others, it's a personal journey. You make the decision because you can't control what someone else decides to do. You can't control a lot of circumstances that may cross your path, but you can control how you choose to respond to said behaviors and circumstances. And think about the word that I'm using here. Respond, not react. Respond. Because reacting is impulsive. You can react and bust the windows out of somebody's car. Responding is intentional. You take a moment, you think it through. Okay, how am I going to move past this? How am I going to move past this pain so I can get to a better place? So that's what forgiveness is for. When you forgive others, you're not doing it for the other party. You're doing it for yourself. You're doing it for your own personal growth and so that you can move forward with your life. So now that leads me to the second part of forgiveness, which is forgiving yourself, which I believe in a lot of instances is much more difficult than forgiving someone else. Let's think about it this way. Do you want to be around someone 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year that you cannot forgive, that you have anger and resentment towards? That sounds like hell to me, okay? That's what it is when we don't know how to forgive ourselves. We're mad at ourselves because we didn't pay attention to the handwriting on the wall. We didn't heed that warning that friend, family member, or loved one tried to give us about a situation or a person. We ignored all the red flags. We tried to see the good in someone. We let somebody stay in our personal space just a little bit longer than they should have been there. Okay? So then once the truth unfolds and you see the situation or the person or whatever for what it is, then now you're mad at yourself. Now you're beating up on yourself. And that leads to you feeling guilt and embarrassment. And why continue to put yourself through that? Because at the end of the day, we all make mistakes. That's what we're here for. We're here to learn. We're here to grow. I don't care how old you are. You can be 90 years old. As long as you're still here, you have more to learn. So instead of beating up on yourself about it, look at it as a learning opportunity. Okay, experience is the best teacher. No one can tell me anything about something that I have already personally experienced. So what I can do is take that and say, you know what? All right, so I didn't make the best decision the last time. I'm going to take this as an opportunity, if I'm faced with this same situation again, to do it a different way the next time, to do it a better way the next time, to make a better decision the next time. And then that way you free yourself from that guilt and that shame, and then you can move forward. You can move forward with your life. But when you don't forgive either yourself or others, you're stagnant. You're stuck. You're stuck in the past. And what can happen is all of that resentment and anger and guilt and all of that and bitterness is going to bleed over into other avenues of your life. It's going to bleed over into your friendships, into your romantic relationships, into your business relationships, whatever it is, because you're stuck and you can't move forward. So that's the reason why forgiveness is so important, because you know what? The world is not going to stop. The world is going to keep rolling on. So either you're going to roll with it or get rolled over. So again, that's my talk it out for today, this Tuesday. I would love to know what you feel about it. I love you all. Have a good one.